All right, here, this is a real quick video I'm doing. This is of my shop lighting. Originally in my shop, all I had was the light bulb that came from the builder and the garage door opener. So doing anything in here at night required a lot of creativity, a lot of drop lights, and everything else you could use to light your way. I was searching through Craigslist. I wanted to buy a horizontal bandsaw and a drill press that had more speed options than my drill press. So when I went out to pick up the items, he also had for sale some fluorescent fixtures. He had taken them down out of his barn and replaced them with LED lights. And he had these listed on Craigslist for $25 a piece. They're 8-foot long T12 bulbs. And you can see they have the shrouds. I really wasn't interested because I didn't want to spend $25 a piece, but I did need additional lighting in the shop. So, after we came to an agreement on the horizontal bandsaw and the drill press, he asked me, he says, well, what do you think about the fluorescent fixtures? I told him, well, I really didn't want to pay $25. And he told me, what if I give you the best deal of the century? His best deal was $25 for all 6 fixtures. And he said he had all the original lights. So I thought, wow, I don't think I can go wrong with that. Well, long story short, none of the bulbs worked. Luckily, all the ballasts did work, and the fixtures did work. So I picked up some new T12 bulbs from Lowe's. They were on sale, $9 for a 2-pack. So you do the math. This didn't cost very much to put up. And, with having roughly a 22 by 22 garage with 3 strips 16 feet long on the ceiling, evenly spaced, I think I could probably perform surgery in here. I'll give you an idea in a moment. Okay, so here is how I've done it. Obviously, they're attached to the ceiling with anchors, and they're linked together with some conduit. Nothing fancy, just your basic wiring, Romex inside the conduit. And I was kind of worried that having all of these lights on at one time would probably be overwhelming, as well as use a lot of energy that I didn't need to use. So I wanted to come up with something without running a bunch of new outlets on the ceiling or, running conduit up and down the walls. So here's what I came up with. So this location that I'm showing you now, this is where the original bulb was at on the ceiling, which was controlled by a switch right near the garage door, access to the house. And, trying to come up with a creative solution that worked, what I decided was to take that bulb, single bulb fixture down and replace it with a receptacle. But I didn't want to have to get on a ladder and plug in the lights when I wanted extra light when I was doing something out here, and then, unplug it when I was finished with the project. So I hunted around online, and I found this little white box at Lowe's. So what I found at Lowe's was called the Utilitech White Remote Control Outlet. And what that simply is it plugs into an outlet, and it's controlled by a switch that has a couple of batteries in it. And it works great. I can turn on my switch coming out of the house, and I get the center bank of lights on. And when I need more, I hit this remote switch, and it turns the two outer banks on. I'll post the item number in the description, as well as I'll give you a still picture of it in the video. And this view just shows how the lights are not really hardwired. They're hardwired together, but as far as the fixtures and the bays, they're just plugged in. You know, sometimes you end up with an extension cord that might have a little bit of wire rub, or, you know, maybe your dog got a hold of it. So I always keep the extension cord. It's just a little extra wire around. And for a project like this, having extension cord wire makes a very simple cord to plug these fluorescent lights in. And here's the remote switch I have positioned further out in the garage, more centralized where my machinery is at. In this case, it's positioned just below my vintage stereo. This was probably the best spot. So that's where it's at. And again, it's battery operated. So when it starts to falter, I just replace the batteries. It's pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. Alright, so now I've repositioned the camera so we could try to get all three banks in, and I will turn on the first bank, and then I will turn on the two outer banks. Okay, so here is the center bank. It's daylight outside. I do have windows in the top of my garage door. So it is light. I'm trying to give you an idea of how much light it is. I don't know if that's coming through on the camera. The garage shop is completely cluttered at the moment because it's wintertime, and that's kind of what happens here in the Great Lakes State. A lot of stuff gets moved into the garage that you normally don't have in the garage, so bear with me on these shots. But here you can clearly see, here's the center bank is on. This is the one that comes on once you turn the light switch on coming out of the house. So for general work in the garage, general cleaning, doing whatever, this is what's usually on. And now I'll give you the second view. And here is the view with all three of the fluorescent light banks on. I can see it's not really capturing it here. The lights do not have a yellow tinge to them, but the camera's showing it. It's showing a yellow glare on the wall. Maybe that's just the way fluorescent lights film. I'm not sure. But anyhow, I guess it doesn't really capture the full view of it. The point of this video is just coming up with solutions that make life easier. Save you time, save you money, instead of running a bunch of new outlets around the garage for me to plug all these into, and switches. And I think this was a pretty simple solution that worked well. That remote switch can easily handle the wattage of the wattage and volts of these lights. These lights are on a 20 amp circuit, so there's no issue having this many lights lit at one time. So, you know, just be creative and think outside of the box sometimes, and you know, the answer is right in front of you. So if you like this video, if you think this was a good idea, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to put out a video every week. Some may be of this format where it's kind of an idea on how to. Some format might be machining. So thanks again for watching.